From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A North Pole man was arrested early this morning after a standoff with police that lasted over 2 hours in downtown Fairbanks.
58-year-old Arthur Farmer was detained by Fairbanks Police's tactical team at a residence near 5th Avenue shortly after 1:15 a.m. According to court documents, Farmer had been drinking alcohol and began to act erratically, threatening the occupants of the home and later assaulting at least one of them. Responding officers said Farmer met them at the door of the home with a large samurai sword. Farmer reportedly threw knives at the tactical team from the home, and officers reported hearing rapid succession gunfire from inside. The owner reported there were several weapons inside, all with ammunition.
We brought in the tactical unit, as we do in these situations, so that we can resolve them peacefully for everybody. We kept trying to talk to him, including for about the last half an hour, and still weren't getting anywhere. So at that point, we put some tear gas through the front door, and he came out and surrendered. In this case, he armed himself with numerous edged weapons. There were firearms known to be in the home that he could have had access to, and so it's something that we simply can't walk away from. We need to get the homeowner back in his property, and we need to get this person in custody and get him the help that he needs.
Farmer was set to be arraigned on a misdemeanor assault charge in connection with the incident. However, troopers say he was combative at the jail and could not appear in front of the district court judge this afternoon. It is unclear if any other charges will be filed against Farmer from the standoff.
The Sockeye wildfire that started near Willow Sunday mushroomed in size and is prompting help from people offering their homes to scores of displaced residents and their animals. The human-caused fire led to the voluntary evacuation of up to 1,700 homes. One firefighter was treated for heat exhaustion. Fire Information spokesman Tim Mowry says 210 residents signed in at evacuation centers in Houston and near Talkeetna. The latest on the Sockeye fire, according to state fire officials, is the Parks Highway is again closed in the Willow area due to heavy smoke. The fire remains at 6,500 acres. The evacuation advisory remains active from mile 63 to 78, and fire officials have been unable to create an updated map of the fire because of heavy smoke.
There's nothing we haven't provided across this state and actually out of the Pacific Northwest to address this fire. We're very, very concerned about it, and again, very appreciative of those that have been working literally through the night. It's what Alaskans do when there's a problem, and there's certainly a problem, and Alaskans are responding very aggressively. So we thank those that are doing that.
A North Pole man has been indicted by a Fairbanks grand jury on 2 counts of sexual abuse of a minor. 20-year-old Christopher Simpson is accused of having sexual contact with an unidentified victim who was under the age of 13 on May 27th of this year. Family members of 3 minor girls contacted police to report Simpson had attempted to persuade the minors to engage in sexual contact. Simpson is being held at Fairbanks Correctional Center without bail. Trial for his case is set for August.
The governor's office released to the public results of retired Judge Patricia Collins' special investigation into allegations of sexual abuse and harassment within the Alaska National Guard. The report found no evidence that top Guard leaders overtly discouraged the reporting of misconduct. She did find problems with the report process for lower-ranking Guard members. Collins found no cover-up from the Parnell administration, but the 93-page report did find a lack of communication between Guard leadership and the governor's office. Governor Walker today swore in Major Brian Fox as the first ever credentialed Provost Marshal of the ANG. He will serve as a liaison between the Guard and law enforcement officers. Judge Collins offered several recommendations, including the reopening of prior cases.
I have made recommendations that 3 cases be reopened based on new information found during the course of my investigation, and that a 4th matter also be reviewed.
Moving forward, we're learning from the past, learning what needs to be changed, and we're looking at implementation as soon as possible on make sure we're never there again where we were in the recent years.
All right, when we come back, construction will begin this week on Cushman Street, and the Department of Public Works will hold a special meeting for suggestions and comments.
Also this weekend, the community of Chicken, Alaska was the scene of music and celebration with chicken stock. We'll give you all the details when we return.
Welcome back. Saturday night, Alaska State Troopers responded to a report of an ATV rollover with the driver seriously injured. Officers contacted 64-year-old Michael Muschler of North Pole. He was taken to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital and later medevac to Providence Medical Center in Anchorage. He died there on Sunday night.
With construction ready to begin next week on Cushman Street, the Department of Public Works wants city residents and business owners to have an opportunity to voice their concerns. Tuesday morning at the City Hall building in the council chambers, the public will have an opportunity to discuss the upcoming construction project. The contractor, along with the traffic control supervisor, public information officer, and project superintendent, will be available for questions and suggestions from 9 to 11 a.m.
The city wanted to provide an opportunity for the downtown businesses and the residents to meet the contractor in person, meet their traffic control supervisor, meet their public information officer, meet the project superintendent. So we are going to be hosting an open house event on Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. For those people to come down to City Hall and meet these people in person. If they have any immediate questions, get those answered and exchange contact information.
Fort Wainwright opened its gates to citizens during the Army's celebration of 3 historical military events on Saturday. It's been 50 years since the veterans of Vietnam flew into battle. Saturday, Army officials and Fairbanks citizens stood for a parade of Vietnam vets at the Ladd Army Airfield. The airfield itself turned 75 years old Saturday. In the beginning, the location was jointly used by Army and Air Force personnel before airmen moved to Eielson Air Force Base. Sunday, the United States Army turned 240 years old. It was on June 14, 1775 that our nation's leaders established the Continental Army. U.S. Army Alaska Major General Michael Shields says it was the selfless service of our soldiers in the past and present that makes the Army a premier fighting force.
Our founding fathers established the Continental Army to fight what was to become a war of independence. The Army has served proudly, faithfully, and selflessly for 240 years, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to the defense of the nation we love.
The remnants of a vehicle that was built in the 1920s and was eventually used in the 1930s to take visitors to Denali Park is currently on display at the Fountainhead Auto Museum. The touring bus is a 22-passenger Fajul safety coach that's been sitting in a grassy field for the past 75 years before it was cleaned up and transported to the museum for display. After Tuesday, the bus will be relocated to the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge for viewing by tourists. The head mechanic at the Fountainhead Lodge says the bus, even though it is rough looking, is still a treasure.
And what happened is the folks that bought the property where it was sitting, they moved it back into the brushaways. And so we finally got it located and donated. And it's just a great piece of history. We brought it up structurally from where it was when we found it. All of the skin except for one door is original to the bus. Just a great piece of history.
No efforts will be made to do any further refurbishing of the vehicle, as its new home will be the lodge year-round.
Campers were out shaking their tail feathers this weekend during the Chicken Stock Music Festival. Mary Conlon hatches a story in this report.
The community of chicken was busting at the seams this weekend during the 9th annual Chicken Stock. Festival goers enjoyed live bluegrass music under the midnight sun, surrounded by a setting rich in gold mining history. The idea of the festival was first hatched by Chicken Stock head chick Josie Busby while she was listening to a bluegrass band in Nome at the end of the 2007 Iditarod Festival. Her father and owner of the Chicken Gold Camp, Mike Busby, says that the festival has since blossomed and grows bigger each year.
Whether or not it would work in Chicken being so remote was the question. Last year, with the musicians and the volunteer, there were about 800 people. This year, with counting all of those folks, it probably is bumping 1,000, I'm guessing.
Volunteers come from in and out of state, each with their own unique Event Flock character. Event Flock member Judy Yoder says the diversity of people is amazing.
It's a weekend that is so different from what we have here other weekends. The music, like Carl Hoffman, you know, he was in the first band, and that's just amazing for me to sit here and listen to him now, 9 years later.
Hoodoo sales manager Paul Johnson says it's his second year volunteering, and next year he'll be sure to return for the 10th annual celebration.
We just pour it for them and volunteer and help out because it's it's one of those events. It's pretty special. It's a pretty amazing place to be and have this many people together and have such a good time and have it be fun the whole night, you know.
This is Mary Conlon reporting from Chicken, Alaska.
All right, Joe Cook is up next with some of the top sports stories from over the weekend.
All right, stay tuned for the weekend recap after the break. Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here this Monday evening with your weekend recap. For the second straight year, a former Alaska Nanook hoists the Kelly Cup Trophy. On Sunday in Allen, Texas, the Allen Americans of the ECHL won the Kelly Cup by dismantling the South Carolina Stingrays 6-1 in Game 7. Former Alaska Nanook defenseman Aaron Jens is now a Kelly Cup champion. In the finals, Jens put up 3 assists. +1 rating for the Americans. Now the Americans, they won the last 2 CHL titles and now the Kelly Cup in their first season in the ECHL for 3 straight league titles. In his UAF days, Jens played 140 career games and generated 72 points from 2008 to 2012. Former Alaska equipment manager Rusty Aldridge is also the equipment manager for the ECHL champion Allen Americans. Andy Toronto, another former Nanook, won the Kelly Cup with the Alaska Aces last season. It took a couple of games, but the Alaska Goalpanners won their first game of the summer Sunday night on the road thanks to a heck of a debut. In his first game as a Panner, Lawrence Stewart hit the go-ahead RBI at the top of the 10th and then shut out the Oilers on the mound in the last 3 innings. The Panners held on to defeat the Kenai Peninsula Oilers 2-1 in 10 innings to avoid the sweep in the last game of their 3-game series. Sean Bennett, he scattered 4 hits with 6 Ks and 1 earned in 7 innings. Andrew Carrillo and Riley Roberts scored for the Panners. Alaska's 1-2 after the series, and they will host the Chukiat Chinooks Tuesday night at Grotto Memorial Park to kick off their 18-game homestand. And staying with summer baseball, the Alaska Wild bounced back with a win on Sunday. The Wild won 6-4 over South. Now South, they won on Friday night 11-0. Trent Woods, he led the Wild with 2 ribbies in the win. Fairbanks 49ers, they split 2 doubleheaders against South in AA and single A ball on Saturday afternoon. Coming up this weekend is the Alaska Airlines Series, where the 49ers and the Wild will host Service and West Anchorage on Arco and Marlin Field. The first games are Friday night. The Tour of Fairbanks concluded on Sunday, and the name Flaherty means dynasty. Tyson Flaherty won the Tour of Fairbanks for the 3rd straight year. This year's win may have been more about dominance as he won all 5 stages. He finished the men's expert open division with a total time of 5 hours, 7 minutes, 47.5 seconds. Riley Troyer, he was in 2nd place in 5:11, 8.5. UAF product Logan Hahnemann, he finished in 3rd place with a time of 5 hours, 17 minutes, 54.8 seconds. He finished 2nd last year. Cheryl Lone continued her run on top in the women's division. Lone won her 5th Tour of Fairbanks title in 6 years. She won 4 of 5 stages this weekend. Lone's time was 5:56, 55.1. Stacy Kolstad and Beth Zerbies round out the top 3 in the women's expert open division. Alaska was represented well at the Region 4 President's Cup soccer tournament over the weekend, despite a great effort and a loss. After 110 minutes of play, the Eclipse U15 girls team lost in the 7th round of penalty kicks in the 3-2 final to Sand and Surf of Southern California in the quarterfinals. The Eclipse girls were the only local club team to make it to the quarterfinals. West Valley's Kara Simpson and Riley Baumgartner scored for the Eclipse in the U15 boys division. The Fairbanks Rush 01 boys team tied with America FC of Colorado 2-2 on Friday in their final game. The Eclipse 00 boys team, they lost 4-0 to the Scottsdale Blackhawks in the U16 division. And after Sunday night's Game 5, the Golden State Warriors are 1 win away from clinching the Larry O'Brien Trophy. At home, the Golden State Warriors pulled away from the Cavaliers in the second half to take a 3-2 series lead. After a 104-91 victory, it was only 51-50 in favor of the Warriors at the half. But Steph Curry, he had his best game in the finals, 37 points and 7 rebounds, dancing with Dellavedova there, had the Australian on skates. LeBron James could win the finals MVP award. Win or lose, LBJ finished with 40 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists in 44 minutes of play. There was a J.R. Smith sighting as he scored 14 points in the first half. And Tristan Thompson, he went for 19-11, but too much Golden State. 4 other players scored in double figures, including Harrison Barnes with the facial. I picked Golden State to win in 6 games. Game 6 is Tuesday night in Cleveland at 5 p.m. Alaska time. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Monday night edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather. And if you wanted to record a weekend that you wanted to save for future reference, this last weekend was the weekend. It was just gorgeous. Temperatures very comfortable, lots of sunshine. And today we're really cooking close to 85 degrees. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Our photograph night sent in by Travis Herning, another beautiful sunset across the Fairbanks area. Again, beautiful colors. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, well, by all means, send to photos at ktbf11.com. We'll share with the rest of the audience. Your numbers look like this. Today's high was actually 82. Actually 84 degrees. It just went up 2 more degrees. I just saw that before I had a chance to get the graphic changed. The low last night, 49. Record high, 96. That was in 1969. 96 degrees. Wow, that's got to be the hottest ever. Record low, 38 in 1928. Sunrise and sunset, 21 hours and 40 minutes as we approach that shortest day of the year, a gain of 3 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, not a whole lot to talk about. In fact, any clouds at all are way up to the north, near the north slope, and the rest of the state looking really good as that high pressure really is well embedded across the entire state, helping to keep any moisture away from our area. And that's what we're looking at, just partly cloudy skies to clear skies everywhere you look. Temperature-wise, it's even warming up over southeast Alaska, 78 degrees at Juneau. Look at Anchorage, 84 degrees for the high there. Kodiak, 70 degrees. A little cooler around the Cold Bay area, 58 degrees. Still pretty cool around the Nome, 48. And Barrow, about 36 with cloudy skies. Fort Yukon, 82, lots of sunshine. Lower 48 weather, more hot temperatures across the desert southwest. Really starting to cook now in Phoenix, 112 degrees there, 108 in Las Vegas. A very hot day in Seattle, 86 degrees, not too bad at Denver. Showers and thunderstorms moving across Texas and a lot more to come. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. 92 degrees at Dallas. Not too bad Minneapolis, partly cloudy skies, 78. More rain across the deep south and very hot temperatures around St. Louis. Another hot day in the nation's capital, 93 degrees in Washington, D.C. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms around the New York area. On the satellite and radar, keep your attention on this area over the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to become Tropical Storm Bill, bringing with it a lot of rain. In fact, maybe close to a foot of rain in some parts of Texas, something they don't need, and that is expected to continue moving off to the northeast because the jet stream will be helping to guide it that direction. More thunderstorms across the eastern slopes of the Rockies, clear skies out to the west, and speaking about that rain, as you can see here, it is expected to make a curve, and it'll be bringing flash flooding, streams and river flooding, like a rainfall locally 6 to 10 inches of rain in some areas, and on top of all that water-soaked area they have there, they don't need more rain, that's for sure. The jet stream is the culprit here because it's way up to the north, once again, not allowing any kind of movement in the atmosphere whatsoever, so these thunderstorms will be moving very slowly and bringing with them lots of rain. A lot of hot temperatures to continue over the southwest and over the deep south. Well, let's head on back to Alaska and see what's going on here. In the northern slopes, mostly sunny skies at Barrow and Nome, isolated thunderstorms for the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, lots of sunshine, and not as warm as today, though. We're looking at maybe just dipping down below the 80-degree mark. As far as southeast Alaska, it looks like more clouds and a shower. A better chance for showers tomorrow over southeast Alaska for Juneau and Ketchikan, and temperatures cooling down there also. Over the southwest part of the state, partly cloudy skies at Cold Bay, mostly sunny skies in Bethel and Kodiak with temperatures around 70 degrees. And over the Anchorage Bowl, not a bad day, sunny skies across the region, but the smoke from the fire in the Willow area could be drifting across and reducing visibilities in Anchorage and Homer, and that is not a good thing to see. All right, our forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this, and we're going to give you a red flag warning in effect right on through Wednesday. Very dry conditions will continue through Wednesday. The fire danger is critical because the humidity is dropping down to the teens percentage-wise. That's very low, and maybe some wind coming in will add to the situation, so be cautious with any fires that you have whatsoever. All right, our forecast for tonight, clear skies, continue very mild, 56 for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, right around close to 80 degrees, mostly sunny, not as warm, and we do have cottonwood showers in the forecast. You've seen them all around. They're going to continue, unfortunately. And as far as the extended forecast, as you can see here, temperatures warming back up around 80 degrees by Wednesday and Thursday, and then cooling down just a smidgen for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Overnight lows will also be right around the 50-degree mark. No precipitation in the forecast, and things look really good for all the midnight sun activities happening this weekend. We'll keep you advised on as we head toward the midnight sun this weekend and let you know what's going on.
And I'll keep my umbrella for the cottonwood showers.
That's right.
Thanks, Mike.
Keep your mask on.
That's right. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, another hat goes in the ring as Jeb Bush officially announces he's running for the president in 2016. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, that'll do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night.
Good night.